Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. This is KTN Newsdesk. My name is Ian Wafula. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Chairman Isaac Hassan has dismissed calls by the opposition that they will boycott polls if the electoral body is not reformed. The chairman said the commission had a duty to follow the laws as stipulated in the constitution and maintain that no one would intimidate the IEBC. Speaking at Naivasha High School, Hassan, however, said that the commission had made recommendations to Parliament's Justice and Legal Affairs over amendments to the Elections Act.
Politics is like a football match. People play, you score against each other, and you move on. But in Kenya, even in football, if you look at the referees, sometimes even when they have finished, when the game is over, and they blow the whistle, unless they are very close to the door, they are beaten by the players. It's a very difficult job, being a commissioner of an election, trying to contest people who are looking for power. And you have to declare the people's voice. You are just delivering you are a messenger. You are giving the message which the people have said. But sometimes people are angry, they kill the messenger.
Elsewhere, residents of Moraga in Moraga County have been left in shock after a standard 7 pupil was defiled and then murdered before being buried in a maize plantation. The girl is thought to have been attacked in her room while studying. Her family members began a frantic search for her when they found her shoes baked in blood, and pools of her blood on the floor. When her body was finally found in the maize plantation, she was also discovered to have been stabbed on the back.
Wao msichana akaingia kwa nyumba ambao wanalala. Alipoingia akakuta kuna damu nyingi sana, akastuka. Ndio akaniita, baba kuja uone. Nikaingia nikaona kuna damu imetawanyika huko. Tukaanza kufikiria pengine mtoto alijikata mguu na akatokea pengine kwa barabara, akachukuliwa na msamaria mwema kupelekwa hospitali. Tukapigiwa simu, tukaambiwa wale waliwachwa nyuma wamezunguka na wamepata mtoto mahali yako, na wakatuambia wamempata akiwa ameuliwa.
I'm appealing to everyone and to our men. You are our dads, our husband, our brothers, and we love you so much. But wacha tukue watu. These girls need us. We cannot make a country without girls. We cannot make a county. We cannot go on without these girls. Wacha wasome. Let's protect our girls.
Quite an unfortunate incident there. Elsewhere, civil society groups in Kenya are calling for the swift implementation of the Public Benefits Organization Act by the government. The societies say the government has been reluctant to implement the act 2 years after it was signed into law. They say that lack of effective implementation of the act is causing a delay in the strategies and policies needed to conduct their activities.
We need the PBO Act to work. If we want a vibrant, a strong civil society that is effective and is accountable, then the best way to do it is through the PBO Act the way it is. And if we find that implementing the PBO Act that is not working, then we can start thinking about amendments. But it does not make sense to amend something you've not operationalized. How do you adjust address to fit you if you've not tried it?
The Act should be implemented in its current form, and then debate on transparency should follow. What we are saying is we do not think there needs to be a contradiction between accountability and transparency on the one hand and a vibrant civil society on the other.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we brought to you the story of Kenyans' impressive performance in agriculture in Rwanda. We received overwhelming response from you, with some viewers asking about the professional and business requirements in that country. Now that that is the focus of today's episode of Daring Abroad with Alex Chamwada.
We begin the journey at Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where I check in using my national identity card as a travel document to Kigali. And just to let you know that if you are a citizen of the member states of the East African Community, you do not necessarily have to use a passport as a travel document. It is working for the nationals of Rwanda, Kenya, and Uganda, but Tanzania and Burundi are lagging behind as they do not have national identity cards in place yet.
We began issuing national IDs. We hope by the next elections we should have, every Tanzanian should have an ID.
When you arrive in Rwanda, your first stop would be the Rwanda Development Board, RDB, if you are seeking employment or business registration. This is the one-stop center for government services, the equivalent of Kenya's Huduma centers.
For a Kenyan to work in Rwanda, nowadays it's a bit easy because they don't ask for a work permit. What you get is a resident visa. And it's pretty easy to apply for a resident visa. Basically, what they will ask you is a police clearance, certificate of good conduct, and they would need your academic papers and your CV. And obviously, your contract from your employer, or if you are a sole proprietor, they would need your company details. And it takes about a week. Within a week, you get your resident permit, and after that, you're in business.
However, when it comes to employment, priority is given to locals, except for those with special skills that cannot be sourced locally. How about business registration? Vivian Kayitesi is the head of investment promotion and implementation at the RDB.
All you need is a copy of an ID. You need 15,000 Rwandan francs, which is equivalent to about less than $20. 2 steps: you come downstairs, fill the forms, pay the fee, and you come back 6 hours later, you have your business certificate of incorporation.
So how long have you been advocating, and when are you anticipating for results?
Eugene Anangwe, a television producer who doubles up as a radio presenter, was one of the beneficiaries of the Special Talents Search.
One-on-one with Eugene Anangwe.
I came to Rwanda in 2008 after an opportunity came by. Contact FM was looking to set up their English broadcasting network. And of course, they needed some people who were able to read news in English, go to the field, report in English, carry out interviews, produce features in English. And that's how they came to scout for talent in Kenya. And I was like, okay, let me give it a shot, because I felt like there was stuff that I had that I could be able to share with the Rwandan community in the media industry. And that's how.
Kenyans are found mostly in the service industry. They are in the banking sector. They are some of the most sought after in the hospitality industry. The general managers of Serena Kivu as well as Serena Kigali are Kenyans.
In total, I have 500 members of staff between Kigali Serena and the Lake Kivu Serena. And out of the 500, I have 10 Kenyans, and all the rest are Rwandese.
Mm-hmm. So the 10 Kenyans are at what level?
We have a few managers, like myself and the food and beverage manager. We have the chef, the chief accountant for here and his deputy, and then we have the same arrangement for Lake Kivu.
Now remember,
Kenyans are also found in the education sector. At the Mount Kenya University Kigali branch, some are members of the support staff. Others serve as lecturers.
There is what is called Inter-University Council of East Africa, which is a member organization for all the universities in East Africa. Through the same, we were able to fast-track our entry to Kigali.
So the trickle-down effect is definitely going to be there. We'll have, in terms especially of skilled manpower. We are talking of a situation where we want someone who is trained in Kigali as a civil engineer being able to offer his services in Dar es Salaam without people worrying about the quality of that particular individual.
Our private higher education is quite young, so they are still developing their programs here, but we are encouraging them to look at the region and to expand even there.
They've done it.
And the question is, are Rwandans investing in Kenya?
Every week we keep on getting inquiries of Rwandans coming to Kenya. There is also a lot of Rwanda investments in Kenya. I'm sure there are. I know of quite a number of Rwandans also who own property in this country. So the traffic is both ways.
And just what is the feeling among the locals about Kenyans?
The people of Kenya? Yes. I don't have too much news, but I have a few. What I know, the people from Kenya are a good man. Examples, if they like to do hard.
Work hard.
They like to work hard. It means that they like a job.
Do you fear Kenyans?
Oh yeah, no. How can I fear? No. And I think they have a team, good team we like here.
Which one?
Glomaria. I forget others, but I know.
AFC?
Yeah. I know Glomaria very well because there are the player I know.
You know them? What else do you know about Kenya?
About
Kenya?
Another thing?
Yes.
On Road is big, more than ours.
The road?
Yeah, the road is big. I didn't go there, but someone told me the car must go. Now we are two here. Yes. Then in Kenya, in one way, 4 cars must go.
Okay,
I think it is very big.
The lanes are wider.
Huh?
They are big, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Eventually I'll have to go back to Kenya because home is always home.
That's Daring Abroad. For KTN, I'm Alex Chamwada.
Quite interesting. Do catch Daring Abroad with Alex Chamoda every Thursdays. We now cross over to Nyeri County, where our reporter Sharon Momanyi is standby just to give us an update on the beatification of Sister Irene Stefani, which is scheduled to start today, going on up to Saturday. Sharon, if you can hear me, what is happening right now?
Yes, Ian, we are at the Gikondi Catholic Church here in Mukurweni in Nyeri, where a vigil mass will be taking place from later on today, officially starting the beatification ceremony of Sister Irene Stefani. Now, it should be remembered that Sister Irene served here in Gikondi village from 1915 to 1930 upon her death, and she served as a nurse, and she actually died while attending a patient of bubonic plague. And it is this act of kindness that recommended her to the process of beatification. Now, for those who may not understand what this process is all about, it is part of Catholic liturgy where a servant of God seen to have lived an exemplary life is recommended to be a saint in a process known as canonization. Now, once Sister Irene was recommended to be a saint, a process started in 1984 where she has to go through 4 stages of canonization. The first stage gets her to be called a saint of God. The second stage gets her to be called the Venerable. The third stage, which is where she is right now, is that of the beatification ceremony, where she gets to be called the Blessed. And the final stage, if it gets to get there, then she gets to be called a saint in a process of canonization. And just here, the vigil that will be taking place is part of the beatification ceremony. And if you can see around, hundreds are thronging this church here just to celebrate the life of Sister Irene Stefani. And now I want to bring in a pilgrim that has traveled all the way from Philippines just to explain what this means to him. If you can just tell us your name.
Okay, good morning to everyone. I'm Brother Chris Sabado. I come from the Philippines and I'm a member of the Franciscans of Our Lady of the Poor. Now we were assigned in Tanzania, Africa, but because of this occasion, we came here for the beatification of Sister Irene. So it's very rare to have a beatification outside the room. That's why we took a chance to be here this morning and this 3 days, so that we will be able to, witness and to pray together, and also to ask Sister Irene for prayers for our mission in all of Africa.
And how big is this ceremony? Just for those who may not understand, what is the Catholic faith?
It's very big occasion to have this beatification. Actually, most beatifications are only done in Rome. It's only this time that it was done in Africa, outside the Vatican. So it's very, very great and very, very big occasion for all of us Catholics.
And how many of you have you come with here for this ceremony?
For us here, I came only with one deacon, although we are many here in Kenya. But our main mission now is in Tanzania.
Okay.
We are still waiting to be start our mission again in Kenya.
Okay. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes. And I also wanted to speak to, maybe if you can just step aside, I want to speak to the father as well. Just that way, please. I'll have this. And Father, if you could just tell us your name, and you've come from Nairobi. If you can tell us...
From Nyeri.
From Nyeri. Oh, sawa. If you can tell us what this vigil is all about, what will be the program of the vigil here tonight? Just come inside.
Yes. Yeah, I am Father Boniface Mwangi, working in the Caritas Department of the Archdiocese of Nyeri, and I have come to participate in this great occasion of the beatification of one of the servants who dedicated and sacrificed her life for the community here in Gikodi. And I'm very lucky to have worked in this particular parish in the years between 2005 and 2008. And I can say that those were the years that the momentum of this feat, of this great occasion was picking up.
Okay.
And what we are going to witness this afternoon, this evening, and tomorrow and the day after is just a moment of God. In my own words, I can say that it is a moment of God, because during those years that I worked in this particular parish, I came to realize, because before I didn't know about the story of Sister Irene, I came to realize how the community has passion over this one sister called Sister Irene Stephanie Nyada.
Okay, Father, and just because I want to, in the interest of time, we want to understand also what kind of program we expect here tonight for the specific vigil mass, for those who are coming also. What kind of a program do we expect tonight?
Well, the program for this afternoon, practically, there will be no mass, but a special liturgy that will bring the people together from all parts of the world, practically, who will come to reckon with the location from where this blessing came about from God. So what we intend to have is a special program, a liturgical celebration that will involve perhaps the readings, and then some special prayers, intercessions, and thereafter we hope that the congregation may be able to continue with private adoration in preparation for the real occasion of beatification tomorrow at the Kimathi University.
Thank you so much for that clarification. Thank you. And before I hand it back to the studio, we'd like to hear from a member of the Gikondi community. This is where Sister Irene Stephanie served, and this is indeed a big occasion for the communities here. So we want to know, what does this mean for you, that this occasion is taking place here in your village?
Ya kwamba nasema hii inamaanisha mambo kubwa sana kwetu. Kwa sababu ni kitu ambaye hayajawahi kufanyika. Na vile tulisikia hii mambo ya Sister Irene, ya kwamba tumeona kitu maendeleo imeanza.
Naweza inua microphone juu kidogo.
Maendeleo tumepata mingi. Na mambo mingi yamefanyika hapa na hakuna mtu alikuwa anafikiria inaweza tendeka. Yeye tu ni Mungu tu peke yake ameletea sisi. Kwa hivyo kwa Sister Irene kwetu ni shukrani kubwa sana kwa sababu Gikodi imekuwa blessed so much.
Na pia kwa sherehe kama hii vile inafanyika hapa kwa hii kijiji, unaweza sema mmepata maybe mafanikio aina gani katika kuandaa kwa sherehe hii?
Tumepata mafanikio kwa sababu kama sasa mahali tumesimama tumewekewa mwangaza ile ambayo inaitwa mulika mwizi. Then from there barabara zimekuwa tumetengenezwa barabara. Pia tena tumekuwa na wageni hatujawahi kuwa. Tena Gikodi imeingia kwa historia kwa sababu kwa ulimwengu mzima hata kwa news wanaongea kuhusu from Vatican wanakuja Nyeri from there wanamalizia na Gikodi. Kwa hivyo Gikodi sasa ni mahali tumejulikana zaidi
dunia mzima. Asante sana na tunafurahi na nyinyi. So I want to give you back to the studio. A lot of celebration by the villagers here, many people coming to keep vigil, and we shall be keeping you posted on how the ceremony continues. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you very much, Sharon Mumanyi, for that update. Of course, over 300,000 people are going to Nyeri just to attend this historic event. We shall give you an update on that later. We're now taking a short break, but don't go too far.
Welcome back to KTN Newsdesk. I'm Michael Karanja. Now, for all of those who was following business news last year, Cyton Investment came to the fore, taking on a stalwart in the industry as it were. But now, just to get a feel of where Cyton Investment is in 2015, I'm joined by the CEO, Edwin Dande. Edwin, are your legal troubles behind you?
Thanks, glad to be here. Michael, when you run a business such as ours, where you are dealing with clients across the globe, you are dealing with huge amounts of money, you will always have legal challenges. So the challenges remain, but they are with our lawyers. For us, we are focused on conducting business, and that's what we are doing.
So you're focusing on the goal. So 2015 started off quite interesting for you. So where is Cyton Investment at the moment?
Cyton Investment is growing. I would even say is thriving. When we started the company, it was a team of 4 individuals. Now, that has grown to around 25 individuals. In terms of capital committed from our investors, roughly 2 billion shillings. In terms of the deal pipeline, I won't put the number out because that's something we are going to be announcing next week. But now we have a deal pipeline. The team is managing the biggest deal pipeline that we've ever managed. Today, we announced our board, a team of 8 members, including around 5 non-executive directors, and the chairman is Professor Mugendi, who is well known in this society. And we also had an individual join us from the global markets, Taleri, which is one of the leading real estate investors in this country. So if you look at the board, you look at the team, you look at the business that we've been able to generate, I think we are doing what we do best, delivering the best returns for investors and investing in real estate to create jobs and grow this economy.
The investment business is quite interesting. Not yet a year into business, and you already, I read somewhere, you're valuing yourselves at almost 1.1 billion shillings. You've already done a private placement, sold about 10% stake of the company. What led to that quick acceleration in the way Cyton is doing business?
Yeah, you've kind of alluded to it. Investment business is interesting, and it's because it's a practice. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business or how long you've had a brand. What matters is the length of time the leadership team has been together. If you look at the leadership team at Cyton, we've been together for over 3 years. Some of the team members have worked for almost 4 years. So it's like a team of surgeons moving from a hospital and setting up their own practice. The patients won't care that they opened the doors yesterday. What they'll care about is it the same team? Are they doing the same things? Are they focused, and are they delivering? So the leadership team has been together for almost 4 years. In terms of valuation, we are not valuing ourselves. It's clients who valued us. We've sold, at the time when we talked about it, we had sold around 10% of the company at that valuation. The valuation still stays. Since that 10% sale, we've sold another 8% to a global institutional investor, again, still at the same valuation. And why are they giving us that valuation? They've seen the team. They see our experience. They see the amount of assets we've been able to generate over the last 1 year. And most importantly, they see the deal pipeline and the execution, and that's what gives us that valuation. And let's remember Saiton reflects the opportunities and potential of this country. It's a country that is growing, the opportunities are massive, and as investment managers, as long as we deliver for our investors, the sky is the limit.
Investment is a confidence game, so rocky start, not yet fully into a year. So how confident are the people who are already talking to you?
Investment is a game of confidence, it's a game of trust. Yes, there was a rocky start, but the rocky start is, we did not choose the rockiness. It was imposed on us, and we are dealing with it. I would say, I would break it into 25, 50, 25. There's 25% that are with us, for sure. They understand us, they know us, they trust us. There's a 25% that won't deal with us. Then there's a 50% that we have to convince. And we convince them by execution, by delivering, and by showing them that we can deliver better return than they would get anywhere else. So we have 75% that's accessible, and that's good enough for us to thrive.
Obviously, I can't let you. You've already said that there's a deal pipeline in the works. Perhaps you won't go into the details of that, but you started off more or less focused on the real estate sector. Perhaps is that where you're going to be focused on, and are you introducing products that perhaps tailor-made to the bottom end of the pyramid as well?
Real estate is our bread and butter. Yes, we do structured products, we do private equity, but if you think about an investor seated in London today, if they wanted to buy equities, they just call their broker. Fixed income, they call their broker. Private equity, they're a couple of players. If they wanted to invest in real estate, they need to come here, look for land, think about the concept, do the construction, then rent the house or sell the house. That takes a long time. So they need a trusted partner, and that's what Saiton is focused on. So for investors, that's a unique proposition. Then now looking at the Kenyan economy, rapid urbanization that has outpaced infrastructure. So if you look at neighborhoods, they want reliable water, they want reliable electricity, sewer, and roads. So if you can develop something focused on the bottom, I would say bottom to mid-income housing, the uptake is massive, and there is undersupply.
Potential is great.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Perfect place to end that conversation with Saiton Investment CEO Edwin Dande. Ian Wafula, what's happening on the sporting front?
Well, Karanja, the experience gained by the national women's volleyball team booster Jane Washu and Centre Park sides Agala during their stint in the French League will be measured at the Africa Cup of Nations next month. Kenya will host the championship between the 10th of June to the 20th.
Kenya volleyball skipper Praxidis Agala, together with a former Kenya Prisons colleague Jane Washu, who recently returned from France where they turned up for French Division 2 side Chamalis Volleyball Club, have described their experience in Europe as invaluable. Both coach David Lungao and the rest of the players in the camp agree that the experience gained by the two will help the national oil-sponsored Queen wrestle the African title.
Kuwa kwao kule bara Europa kwa season moja kimewapa mwelekeo tofauti ya vile hali ya mchezo inacheza katika kiwango cha juu, na nafikiria wataleta hiyo experience ama exposure ambayo wamepata kule juu kusaidia wengine.
Washu and Khadhambi have been in France since mid last year, where they featured for the French side in Division 2, and they aided them qualify for the top division. The duo missed the All-African Games qualifiers held in Uganda in April, and they have a big role to play in the national teams for next assignment.
Reception na setting na vitu zingine hizo basic skills za volleyball sasa tumeimprove na tumegain at least experience.
Mafans kwanza tunaweza waambia wakam kwa wingi, cause hao wakiwa sasa zenye tuko down waanze kuboom pale juu, inatua mshanga sana.
Kitu yenye inafanyika France yenye ningependa ifanyike hapa Kenya ni ile players wote wanalipwa na I kama wewe ni professional ama wewe ni wa nyumbani, bora umesign contract na club, unalipwa at least mshahara mzuri yenye inaweza kusaidia. Alafu pia facilities zao ni mzuri, na pia volleyball yao wanaanza kama watoto bado ni wadogo.
Lungao has been relying on Janet Wanja, who was fitted as the best setter during the Women's Africa Club Championship in Cairo, Egypt, early last month, together with Joy Lusenaka. Moses Wahisi, KTN Sports.
Elsewhere, Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho has been named the backless manager of the season, with his star man Eden Hazard scooping the Player of the Year award. The Portuguese boss helps the Blues to their first Premier League title in 5 years after a dominant season, which saw them top of the table for a record of 274 days. It is the third time Mourinho has been awarded the manager of the season accolade. The others also came after Premier League title triumphs in 2004-2005 and in 2006 2005-2006 seasons. Belgium international Eden Hazard has enjoyed a sensational season, scoring 14 Premier League goals and contributing 9 assists. He has played in all 37 Chelsea's league matches, but will miss Sunday's final match against Sunderland at Stamford Bridge after emergency dental surgery to remove 3 wisdom teeth.
He was the overwhelming favourite to be named player of the season, scoring 14 goals for the Blues.
Well, and that story brings us to a close this afternoon. My name is Ian Ofula. Have a lovely afternoon.